Let's get some prize picks in today, guys. Last night I gave out this slip, but these two guys already started. So you had these four guys to work with. Went 3-1 there. Arthur Lekkonen could not get that second shot to push here. And I also gave this college ball slip that went 2-4. So basically 5-on-5 on the picks I actually gave out. There's also the 3 all-star picks. I'm staying away from them next year, but I said I wasn't going to play them. Just sort of leans I had on Shea, Lillard on the unders, and then LeBron on the over. He didn't even play the second half, so that was a reboot there. But the actual picks I gave out were these 4 and these 6 here. And as I said in yesterday's video, very strong association between players in college basketball. You can see the 2 guys on the same team here, both went under. The 2 guys on Memphis here, both went over. 2 guys on Utah here, both went over. So unfortunately, I got the direction wrong, but you could see how powerful that is. These guys are getting a lot of minutes together, especially in college ball. Some of these guys play like 40 minutes a game. They literally played a whole game. So it's very important to be kind of taking these players in the same team together. And I'll be doing this again in today's video. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Every Monday, I go over how my week went, how the Discord profits went. And this week was a very good one. I hit 325Xs. So this was the first one on Friday, another one on Wednesday back when we actually had NBA, and then another one on Monday, mix of NHL and soccer. I'm pretty much doing it in all sports, and that's for a profit of 45.5 units. So that is going to be the sum of every day that happened this week. See, Monday we got to 20.8 units, Wednesday and Friday, those were all the days we hit 25Xs, and then last night we only hit a 10X, only made 6.2 units. You can see there's these big negative days like here, minus 10.8 and minus 6.9, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're hitting a 25X to replenish those losses from the previous days. On Underdog, we only broke even, got 0 units of profit, but there was a bunch of bad beats. I'll show you right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slips. They were all one off a 20x. So even if one of these extra slips hit out of these 5, just one of them, very unlucky, would have been up at least 20 units, but that did not happen. These were the 25x's that I just went over. This was the 10x we hit last night, and then these were the 25x's that we hit, and I just showed you in the video. So it was a very good week, up 45 point units, and honestly a very good February. We've been absolutely destroying price picks this past month, up 127.3 units. And down here, we essentially have every single week visualized into a graph. So you can see there's some downturns here, but in the end, we're always going up. We're at a peak here of plus 417.95 units, and not too long ago, we were only at 284 units. I mean, that's still great in 12 weeks, but still, for the past 3 weeks, we are running extremely hot. So if you're not in Discord yet, do recommend joining. First link in the description on the WAP link below. So I'm not going to go over this slip here. I mean, these guys are pretty much going to start by the time the video's out. Brad Marchand, Pasternak, this game starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. Carlson's already off the board. It was 2 good value on the under half assist. And Casey here also starts very soon. So I'm going to go over this slip. It's a mix of esports, Valorant specifically, and NHL. And I go over each of these stacks one by one. So when I say stacks, I mean, look at these 2 guys. John and Bustio are playing in the same game, right? It's Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. So this is a stack. It's the same game stack. Same thing with Furia versus MIBR. And the strategy in Valorant and CS2 is you want to take both teams from the same game, both on the under or both on the over. Because how Valorant works is there could be overtime. And if these games do go to overtime, that's a potential extra 6 rounds, which means more opportunities for kills. Now on the opposite side, there could be blowouts. It's 1st to 13, but if it's like 13-1, that's only 14 rounds played. Versus if it's like 13-10, where you're going to have 23 rounds played. So obviously you could see how both teams will get less kills if it's a quick game versus a long game. So for this specific game, we have the Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. And Sentinels are a heavy favorite here at minus 250. You guys don't know how odds work. Basically, the higher the minus is, the more likely it is for something to happen. The higher the plus, the less likely it is for something to happen. So we could use that to our advantage. We already know Sentinels is going to be leading here. We could also check on map 1 specifically. It's going to be the same for map 2. We could check what are the actual expected outcomes of this game. And if you see here, the lowest plus lines all kind of hover around 13-7 and 13-10 for the Sentinels, which makes sense because the Sentinels are the favorite. So they're expecting the score to be around this range, 13-6 to 13-10 in the lead for the map 1, which means less likely for there to be overtime. And if we get like a good map where it's like 13-7 on map 1, 13-7 on map 2, that's less opportunity for Sentinel and 100 Thieves to get kills compared to if both maps were to go to 13-11 or even worst case 12-12 where it's going to go to OT. And you could even see down here, it's going to say, will map 1 go to overtime? Yes is at plus 600. No is at minus 1,200. Now, what does that actually mean? It means there's about an 86.5% chance that this map 1 will not go to overtime. It's going to be the exact same thing for map 2. So what we're hoping for is basically a non-overtime game because we're going on 2 unders with the Sentinels absolutely blowing out 100 Thieves. And why we're choosing these specific guys in particular here, so John and Bustio, if we check John on Underdog, he said at 30.5. We're getting him at 31 on Prizepicks, so we're capturing a little bit of value there. Then Bustio, we're not really capturing any value. He said at 31.5 on Prizepicks and also 31.5 on Underdog. But because we're taking an under on Sentinels, we might as well take an under on someone from 100 Thieves because of what I just explained. Now that concept I just explained is exactly the same for Furia versus MIBR. It's also a Valorant game, And this game is actually less tight, so I'm liking this Sentinels versus 100 Thieves play better. But on Furia versus MIBR, you could see there's also the favorite towards Furia. They're minus 188. And if we check the map 1 correct round scores, you can see the lower plus lines are more leaning towards a 13-8, 13-9, 13-10, which is not like great for us. But again, if it's like a 13-9, 13-9, still good likeness of going under. Once one of the maps hits OT, that's where it becomes a bit of a problem for us. That's why I'm liking this first stack better, because there's less likeliness for this game to go to OT compared to the Fury versus MIB. So pretty simple concept there, and that's exactly what I'm going under on all these 4 Valorant plays. Don't be surprised if you tail and you see all these guys go over. It's very possible if the worst case scenario goes where either both maps or one of the maps go to OT. Of course, there's going to be more opportunity for kills, and then everything is going to go over. That's kind of how the correlation in CS and Valorant work. You're going to see very heavily associated in the same direction for both teams. So again, just because something like this would go 0-4 doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. It just means you went in the wrong direction for that specific game. But you have all kinds of esports playing pretty much 24/7 to try again. And you'll see eventually they're both going to go less or both going to go more in the long run. Now, this last stack here I have on Drake and Josh Norris. I got Josh Norris on the under points, Drake on the under shots on goal. These guys right here are both on the same line, so there's line switches on NHL like any sport here, and they're going to be on the same one here. Josh Norris at center, Drake at right wing. So essentially, if this line's not doing well when they're on together, they're playing a lot of defense rather than offense. That's going to be less opportunity for Josh Norris to get a point, which is a goal or assist, and less shots for Drake if their line is getting dominated. So that's why these guys go in the same direction together too. And you can't just grab any random players. Josh Norris, for example, if we check him on the sportsbook, does have juice towards that under. Like I said, the higher the minus, the better. So you could see his overs only at minus 110, his unders at minus 130. So the under is more favored to happen. So you're going to grab his under. And then on Drake, for example, he set at 1.5 on the sportsbook. There's heavy juice. So minus 180 is a lot towards the over. But if you check his milestone prop here, for him to record 3 or more, it's at plus 175. So that's very unlikely that he hits that 3. It's pretty likely that he pushes, but I'm liking the odds that he at least pushes or wins for us. So that's why I'm grabbing the unders on both these guys. And that is how I created this full slip here. 2 Valorant stacks and 1 NHL stack.